The Philippines sends a notice to the United States terminating the Visiting Forces Agreement or VFA. Malacanang on Tuesday, February 11 says Foreign Secretary Teddy Boy Locsin signed it.
The Executive Secretary sent the message to Secretary Teddy Boy Locsin, and the latter signed the notice of termination and sent to the U.S. government today. As the President said, it's about time we rely on our own resources. We have to strengthen our own capability.
Termination will take place 180 days or 6 months after the U.S. receives written notification. In the meantime, the VFA remains in force until the end of the time period. Locsin on Tuesday says the Deputy Chief of Mission of the U.S. Embassy already received the Philippines' notice of termination of the VFA. Locsin earlier pushed for a review of the VFA rather than its outright termination. Both Locsin and Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana earlier said they were not consulted when Duterte threatened to scrap the decades-old military pact. The Foreign Secretary warned of the far-reaching consequences if the Philippines were to abrogate the VFA. On Monday night, February 10, Duterte launched a fresh round of verbal tirades against the US.
Si Trump pati yung others are trying to save the Visiting Forces Agreement. Sabi ko, ayaw ko. One is that napakabastos ng Amerikano. Talagang sobrang bastos.
Vice President Leni Robredo on Tuesday, February 11, rallies Filipinos and lawmakers to stand behind ABS-CBN. Calling it an abuse of power, she condemns the co-warranto petition filed by Solicitor General Jose Calida against the media giant. In a statement, Robredo says, quote, "This is harassment, in line with the personal agenda of a few in power. Therefore, this is abuse of power." Robredo calls on Congress to unite in safeguarding the freedom of expression. Calida filed a petition Monday to void the ABS-CBN franchise, saying products such as ABS-CBN TV Plus and Movies on Demand channel Kapamilya Box Office or KBO have no prior approval from the National Telecommunications Commission. The Supreme Court is asking ABS-CBN to submit its comment within 10 days. That means there is no temporary restraining order for now against KBO, which Calida filed along with the co-warranto. Following Calida's petition, ABS-CBN's roster of celebrities expressed their support of the beleaguered network on social media. On Instagram, Angel Locsin writes, praying that the law shall be used to protect jobs, press freedom, justice, and betterment of the Filipino people. Bea Alonzo simply writes, Kapamilya. Coco Martin, one of the actors who signed a letter and asked Congress to tackle the franchise, posts, ABS-CBN has proven for many years that whatever challenges our country might face, they are there to help our fellow countrymen. Regine Velasquez says, we did not violate the law. Vice Ganda also expresses his support via Twitter, saying many Filipinos will be saddened if ABS-CBN will be shut down. Other celebrities who voice support for the network are Bianca Gonzalez, Agot Isidro, and Joshua Garcia. Actor Ding Dong Dantes from rival network GMA7 also tweets support, saying, quote, while we're competitors, we are one in the media industry. The death toll from the novel coronavirus outbreak surges past 1,000 on Tuesday, February 11. 108 are reported dead on Tuesday, the first triple-digit rise since the virus emerged. The World Health Organization warns infected people who have not traveled to China could be the spark for a bigger fire. The case of a British man who passed on the virus to at least 11 other people without having been in China raises fears of a new phase of contagion abroad. The man caught the virus while attending a conference in Singapore and then passed it on to several people while on holiday in the French Alps before being diagnosed back in Britain. Of those infected by the man, 5 have been hospitalized in France, 5 in Britain, and 1 other man on the Spanish island of Mallorca. The WHO says it's way too early to call the Singapore conference a super spreading event. The viral epidemic has infected more than 42,000 and reached some 25 countries. Senator Joel Villanueva recommends the suspension of Philippine offshore gaming operators in the country as money laundering risks increase. Known as POGOs, Villanueva says these businesses should be suspended while government agencies have not fixed the rules and regulations of the industry. At a Senate hearing Tuesday, Anti-Money Laundering Council or AMLC Director Mel Jorge Racela says money laundering and fraudulent activities related to POGOs are on the rise. He adds a total of 54 billion pesos has gone in and out of the Philippines from POGOs with a net inflow of only 7 billion pesos. Meanwhile, the Philippine National Police notes a 50% spike in crimes involving Chinese, some of which are directly involved in POGOs. Villanueva says the economic benefits from the industry may not be worth the social costs. An emotional Thai army chief pleads with his countrymen not to blame the army after a soldier gunned down at least 29 people in the mall Saturday, February 8. The soldier went into a rampage over a debt dispute with his commanding officer. Sharpshooters killed the gunman after a 17-hour ordeal. General Apirat Sompong breaks down in tears as he apologizes to the victims of the shooting. Apirat says he would not stand down from his post but takes the blame, saying, quote, "The army is a huge organization comprising of hundreds of thousands staff. I cannot focus on every subordinate." Apirat pledges to open a special channel to investigate all future complaints from junior officers about their superiors.